What's up, guys? It's your boys Awoki back with another crime murder type mystery video, and we're gonna be taking a look at another caption that people have been wanting me to watch for quite a while, and this is apparently Chris Watts 2.0. So that means obviously there's kids involved, a wife, loving wife, a was horrible or loving husband turned into a monster that annihilated his family, and a mistress that's probably involved as well. I know nothing about this. I remember vaguely reading into this Beau Rothwell and Jennifer Rothwell case. I didn't get into it as much, but apparently I need to get into it because thousands of you guys are wanting me to watch this and take a look at this case. Could this be another one we boom into? Who knows? But with that being said, before we go any further, if you guys could do me a solid favor, is subscribe to the YouTube channel by hitting that wiper icon down the bottom right. Hit the bell icon next to it, so when I do post videos like this one, you'll get that little ring notification that I've posted that video, and then you guys can watch, comment, like, and share. And again, thank you all for the loving support you guys do on this channel. I can't believe how far we've come, and I can't wait to see what the future holds. And with that being said, we're going to be watching from Anna Elise times 10 to life. We've watched her before on the actual Chris Watts case and with it, Nicole Kessinger. Great YouTube channel. I love her voice. I definitely love her dissection of the cases and stuff like that. And we're going to continue watching it with this case of Beau Rothwell and Jennifer Rothwell. Again, I know nothing of this. We're going into this pretty much myself blind, and then we're going to be educated and find out exactly what's going on and how dysfunctional this case might be as well, like the one with Chris Watts, Shanann Watts, and Nicole Kessinger. So let's take a look.
Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Annie Elise, and this is 10 to Life, where we're talking all things true crime. So if you are brand new and you've never checked out this channel or podcast before, welcome. Happy to have you guys here today, and I hope you enjoy the case coverage. And if you do, please help support the channel and follow along with the channel by hitting the subscribe button below or pressing follow on the podcast, which I think is something you can do. I don't know. I should probably look into that. I think you can do it, but I don't know 100%. There's got to be a way, though. And for all of my returning 10 to Lifers, welcome back. As always, I'm so happy to have you guys here today. And for those of you who are listening to the podcast version of this, if you want to check out the video version where we include video footage related to the crime scene photos, and other information that is visual on the screen, head on over to YouTube 10 to Life and you can watch the video version of this.
You guys want me to watch that one?
Okay, guys.
We might have to watch it.
I realized today, actually I realized literally 5 minutes ago as I sat down on this couch, that I'm wearing yet again another black and white striped shirt with glasses, which I think that I have worn in the past 3 or 4 videos that I've posted. Different shirts, but all black and white stripes nonetheless. So I know that I'm like not giving you much newness here, but I was too lazy to run upstairs and change. So next video, I will wear a different color combination. I promise you that. Today's case that we're talking about is one that came recommended from a lot of you viewers, as a matter of fact.
That's why I'm watching this.
It is compared to the Chris Watts case. We're not even going to go into what the Chris Watts case is because everybody knows it. It's a household name. But this case has been very closely aligned to that one. And it's been requested by quite a few of you over the last several weeks and months. So we're going to talk about it. Now, Beau Rothwell had a decision to make. In a text exchange with his girlfriend, they were weighing out his options. And there were 3 options, to be exact. One option was to say goodbye and move on. Option 2 was to tell Jennifer that he had an affair and wants a divorce. And option 3 was to wait and see how the pregnancy goes, if she miscarried or if something else happened. Then he would be able to leave her. But who was Jennifer? And what did he mean by if something else happened? So let's go back and start from the beginning of what would turn into a story very reminiscent of the Chris Watts and even Scott Peterson case. A story of a young wife, a seemingly loving husband, and a baby on the way. So guys, let's get right into it.
So no kids like born, baby, but still,
Annie Elise.
Very important child.
Starts right now.
Jennifer Rothwell was born on November 20th.
And again, beautiful wife, beautiful looking woman, Bet she had an outgoing personality. She had probably education. She probably was well known, loved, and sort of like that. Why the hell did they keep doing this?
1990 in Overland Park, Kansas, and it said that Jennifer had many friends and loved celebrating life. One of her favorite things to do was spend the holidays with her family. She loved to travel and was a very bright young woman. She grew up to receive a bachelor's degree in chemical engineering and was described as being very, very skilled in her career. Jennifer was a trusted friend and colleague among those who knew her.
Did I not call it?
Jennifer met her husband Beau in 2013 when they were both studying engineering at the University of Missouri, and the two of them would go on to get married in 2015. From the outside, looking in, Jennifer had the perfect life. A great job, great friends and family, and a great husband. By 2019, they were pregnant with their first child together. And Beau was also an engineer, and he was an engineer for a company called Ambitech Engineering, where he had many friends as well and played racquetball with them in his spare time. Just, again, a picturesque life. One of his racquetball buddies even described him as a very loving husband and said that Jennifer and Beau seemingly had a great relationship. But as we all know, no one really ever knows what goes on behind closed doors.
True.
And like so many other young husbands, Beau was beginning to feel trapped in his marriage and was less than thrilled about his wife's recent pregnancy.
Why?
On a cold evening in November, Beau Rothwell called police to report his wife Jennifer as missing. He stated that on that Monday night, he and Jennifer were at home together watching TV, and then he last saw her on Tuesday morning, November 12th, while he was leaving for work. He said that she had not returned home from work that evening, which was very abnormal for Jennifer. Jennifer was said to always be in contact with him and with her family, and would never just not return home without telling someone what she was doing. There was also a very bad winter storm that night, and those close to Jennifer were worried that something may have happened to her on her way home, that perhaps she was in an accident, or that this weather, somehow impeded on her journey home, and that something has happened now to her. And the next day, a friend texted Jennifer's mother, Robin, asking if everything was okay with Jennifer, because she also had not been to work that next day. Beau went on to make a heartfelt Facebook post notifying friends and family that Jennifer was missing. The post stated, "Some of you may have heard already, but last night my wife Jennifer went missing. I've filed a police report and the search is ongoing. Please, if you hear of anything or have any information, it would be greatly appreciated." Soon after Beau filed the report, Jennifer's 2011 Hyundai Sonata, as well as her cell phone, were found abandoned in a local commercial area. Beau was out with others in the community searching for Jennifer when he was notified that her vehicle had been recovered.
At least he's doing that.
Tonight, police are searching for a missing woman from West St. Louis County. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Ann Allred. Thank you for being with us. Family members and friends haven't seen or heard from Jennifer Rothwell in 2 days. 5 on your side's Robert Townsend is following this case. He joins us live from Rothwell's neighborhood, where investigators are right now.
And I talked to Jennifer Rothwell's parents on the phone. Now, they didn't want to go on camera. Their big concern is just hearing from their daughter. I'm going to step back and you can see right now, St. Louis County Police, they are here sitting in 2 vehicles on Rothwell Street. They blocked off this street. In the background there, where that light is at the porch, officers are going in and outside this house. We believe that they are searching in and out of this house. Again, the family's house here off North Winds Drive in West St. Louis County. That all has been happening in the last few minutes. Again, officers, detectives, they look to be going inside this house, searching for possible evidence, I believe, in connection with this woman's disappearance. Again, this is what I know. Jennifer Rothwell is 28 years old and married. She's 5 foot 6 inches tall. She has long, light brown hair, curly hair. She weighs about 150 pounds. Now, she was last seen leaving her West St. Louis County house yesterday morning. Creve Coeur police located a car not far from this house the same day near the intersection of Olive and Fifi Road. Flyers of the missing woman are posted right now inside several businesses in this very neighborhood. Police also tell us Rothwell's family and friends usually talk to her every day, but again, they have not heard from this woman since Jennifer left home early yesterday morning, and that's why they filed a missing persons report. Police say Rothwell's husband all of her relatives and family members. They spent the day talking to them. They said right now they have not named anyone as a suspect. Again, they say everybody's cooperating, and they just want.
And they usually say, not to interrupt, it's 90% the time, or 90% of the time, it's the husband that they look at, or the boyfriend first, if in a missing case or a murder case commences in the family. That's the first person they look at.
Want to know where this woman is. Again, police tell us this young lady has never disappeared before. Back here live, again, you see a very active scene in this neighborhood. St. Louis County Police right here sitting in 2 vehicles. They are also asking anyone who sees Jennifer Rothwell to call St. Louis County Police immediately. Of course, we're going to stay on top of this story. We'll pass it on as soon as we get more information. For now, though, live in West St. Louis County, I'm Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
Police asked Beau then if they could come and search his home, but Beau refused. And why would he refuse the police searching his home for his missing wife? And this not only is a red flag to us, but it's a red flag to the police, because this would then start to lead the police to believe that Beau knew more about Jennifer's whereabouts than he was letting on. He also refused to give them his cell phone or supply a DNA sample. And for all you podcast listeners out there, I am waving my red flag right now. It is one thing to lawyer up, but it is a complete other to refuse to cooperate or to evade sharing details with the police that could help you determine where your missing wife is. And just like pulling a play straight out of the Fotis Dulos case, and if you're not familiar with that one, it's on my playlist, go check it out. When police were searching a trash can on the couple's curb, police found various cleaning supplies, gloves, and paper towels. It was at that point that Beau decided it was time for him to ask for a lawyer. Yeah, I would say so. Beau. I would say so. On Wednesday evening, police found even more evidence that would change the trajectory of this case entirely. The detectives noted that Beau's truck smelled strongly of bleach, and once they were able to enter the couple's home, they found empty cleaning bottles and so much more. In the home at the bottom of the basement stairs were large red stains as well as areas of wet carpeting. There was a circulating fan pointed directly at the wet carpet, and even though the weather was absolutely freezing outside, the windows were cracked open, obviously trying to air something out in the home and dry something up. Under the carpet were clear signs of blood, soaked into the padding and even staining the concrete.
What's that stuff's called? Aluminol? I can't remember. Where they spray it and like glows. I can't remember what it's called. Why don't they just do that?
Underneath. There were also areas of damage to the drywall. Something violent had obviously happened in this basement. And clear signs of an attempt to clean up a crime scene were made more evident when surveillance footage surfaced of Beau purchasing carpet cleaner, bleach, and gloves. Let's wave this red flag all over again.
Do it.
After DNA was collected from Jennifer's parents, the blood on the basement carpet came back as a match to Jennifer.
Oh,
not that I can say that any of us are really surprised here.
Nope.
But where was Jennifer? What had gone on in this basement to create such a gruesome scene left behind? Beau's portrayal of a concerned husband would quickly start to deteriorate, and even more damning evidence of a double life started to come to the surface. Now, I did want to add this little tidbit, I hate that word, but this little tidbit of bizarre information. The Rothwell home was actually just recently sold on Zillow, and there were tons and tons of people lined up to buy this home, knowing that something had happened inside the home, almost as though that were some sort of selling point in all of it. Now, it's not the law in Missouri to disclose any sort of death or murder in any sort of home that was for sale, but in this situation, there was no hiding that something had gone on in this home.
Before these murders?
We're going to get to the details of what had gone on shortly.
Okay.
But since the home was listed on Zillow, I now have a few photos of the basement in the home.
Oh.
Now, obviously, it has been cleaned up, and this is all new carpeting. But in these photos, it just kind of gives you an overview of what it looked like.
Okay.
You can imagine Beau and Jennifer talking perhaps in the kitchenette area, and that maybe that's where all of this took place and began. You can also imagine prior to it being redone and cleaned up, blood all over the floor and in the carpet, and this being where something...
Well, I don't know if this is before or after the murders, but you can see red right here. I don't know if I don't know.
horrible happened to Jennifer. The evidence in the couple's home, the couple's vehicles, and the surveillance footage was enough for police to charge Beau for involvement in Jennifer's disappearance. At this time, he was charged with tampering with evidence due to his sloppy attempt at cleaning up the blood in the basement. And it always astonishes me when people commit these crimes and either do a sloppy cleanup or bring their cell phone with them, not realizing that those actions are what's going to get them caught. If you're going to report your wife as missing and play the role of the distraught husband, wouldn't you, I don't know, at least dispose of the cleanup supplies that you had rather than on the curb of your shared home?
Because they're not thinking.
It was also decided to charge Beau with murder, even without knowing where Jennifer was. Now, when this all went down, Beau must have gotten a rude awakening, because when he entered the jail, he immediately started talking and cooperating with police. Little Beau was shaken in his boots. Only a few days after the initial missing persons report, on November 18th, Beau gave the police information that ultimately led them to the discovery of Jennifer's body. Tragically, Jennifer was found about 45 minutes away from the couple's home in Troy, Missouri, in a wooded area near a highway. She was unclothed and covered in leaves and branches.
Breaking overnight, police found a body they believe is a missing West County woman. I'm Corey Stark.
And I'm Marissa Holloway. There was a massive search overnight after Jennifer Rothwell's husband, Beau Rothwell, began cooperating with police, which led detectives right to the body. Jennifer's husband reported her missing 1 week ago.
And her car was found near Olive and Fifi. There had been searches focused on that area. Well, just a few hours ago, police found a body nearly an hour away near Troy, Missouri, along Highway 61. And that's where News 4's Justin Andrews joins us live this morning with the very latest. Justin?
Corey, we're near that staging area where police basically put us because we couldn't get too close to where they were searching. So we're about a mile from where they were searching for Jennifer's body. And it was all hands on deck starting at 5:15 yesterday evening. Let's take you back to that scene here from yesterday. This thing took a quick turn, shifting the focus to Lincoln County. This after Beau and his attorney approached police Monday afternoon, that's yesterday, and said he wanted to cooperate with police. Well, that led them to the side of Highway 61. Here's the thing, 11:15 last night, police found the body of a white woman who they believe is indeed the body of Jennifer Rothwell. Keep in mind, her husband, who's charged in her murder, initially called police to report her missing last week. Detectives found Jennifer's blood stained in the carpet of the couple's West County home.
It's horrible for things to end this way, but the fact of the matter is that we didn't have good news last week. And we felt like, unfortunately, that it was going to lead us to this kind of an outcome. I will say that it is good for the community, for Jennifer's family, certainly for her memory to have this wrapped up in this manner. It's a good thing that happens. However, at this time, our thoughts do go out to the victim's memory, her family, her friends. She had people that cared for her, that loved her, and that's important as we move forward.
So at this hour, the chief could not speak to the condition of the body and also couldn't tell us the connection to Troy other than this is where that body was found, who they do believe is Jennifer Rothwell. But what made Beau all of a sudden start cooperating with police? Well, we asked the chief that question. You'll hear his response coming up at 5:30. We're live this morning. I'm Justin Andrews, News 4.
Okay, Justin, we're waiting to hear that information.
Now, at the beginning of this video, I mentioned that this case is reminiscent of the Chris Watts and Scott Peterson cases.
So there's a Mistress.
That is not only because it was discovered that Jennifer was in fact pregnant, but also because Beau was having an affair, which we hear about so often in cases like this. In text messages exchanged with his mistress, who is currently unnamed, Beau expressed not wanting to have a baby with Jennifer. He wanted to start a life with this new woman, and a baby did not fit into those plans for his future.
Then you shouldn't have played hokey pokey with your wife when you should have just divorced, moved on, and impregnated the woman that you were talking to. What? I don't understand it. If you don't like this marriage, divorce. That's it. Or work on it, okay? That's what you're supposed to do. Don't go off distance when your wife's over here, speak with another woman, and then be like, oh, I want to be with this one, but I gotta get rid of this one. Divorce! Murder should not be on your mind or anything. That's what pisses me off.
And in an incredibly sad piece of evidence gathered from Jennifer's cell phone, Google history showed that she was searching things like, what do you do if your husband is upset that you're pregnant? Now, can you even imagine how heartbreaking it would be for your husband to be angry that you're pregnant? Finding out you're pregnant can be exciting. It can be scary. It can be extremely...
I can tell you right now, I was scared when my son, I knew I had gotten my wife at the time pregnant. I was so scared. But then not even after hearing about it, within like 10 minutes, I went into dad mode. I could see myself switching places with being like a college army guy or whatever to being this dad. I love the idea of being a dad. I wanted a baby girl at first because I wanted to hold daddy's little girl. But then I found out I was having a boy, which is now little Zoe. I love him to death. I could never hurt him, never harm him. I couldn't even harm my ex-wife at the time. I kind of want to now. No, just joking. But I don't know why these guys snap. I mean, if you don't like your wife, just divorce. You're going to have to pay child support. You played hokey pokey. You're going to be dancing all about, okay? You're going to be paying child support. You're going to be, that's on you. But murder is the first thing you think about? I just don't get it.
Overwhelming. The last thing on a young wife's mind should be that if her husband is going to find out and if he's going to be upset by learning that she is pregnant. And I can see a man possibly being worried about finances maybe, or, you know, not feeling like it's perhaps the right time due to certain things going on in their life. But being upset isn't a feeling that you would expect a husband to feel.
Exactly.
Especially since Beau and Jennifer both had successful careers.
And loved each other.
So it makes me wonder if Jennifer felt maybe like their relationship wasn't going well either. And that's why she was making these searches. Because we know that Beau was obviously thinking about leaving his wife from those options in the text messages earlier. And we're going to dive way further into those text messages in a minute. But to Beau's knowledge, Jennifer was unaware of the affair. But could Jennifer have possibly known something was going on? Was there another form of turmoil in their marriage that could have caused her to believe that a pregnancy wouldn't be welcomed at this point in time? And it also kind of reminds me of how Shanann Watts would constantly text with her friends about Chris being distant and her intuition about him having an affair, their arguments, their problems in their marriage. And many also believed that Lacey Peterson had found out about Scott's affair with Amber Fry as well. So I'd be interested to hear from Jennifer's family and her friends about things that she may have said in regards to her relationship with Beau leading up to this all happening. Did she open up to anybody about the troubles they may have been having? What would have been the reason in her mind for him being upset about the pregnancy?
Unless she found
or
the text
did he
messages?
actually express to her that he was upset, and that's what sparked these Google searches? Fast forward to 2022. The trial for justice for Jennifer Rothwell has finally begun, and much more interesting evidence has now been testified to for the prosecution to prove that Beau planned on killing his wife. Now back to that list of options that Beau discussed with his mistress. Option 1, say goodbye and move on. Option 2, tell Jennifer that he had an affair and wants a divorce. Or option 3, wait to see how the pregnancy goes, if she miscarried or if something else happened, and then he would be able to leave her. In option 3, the prosecution claims that if something else happened implies that Beau had planned to make something happen to Jennifer. And in an unexpected twist, Beau's defense had stated that Beau did in fact kill Jennifer, but that it was not premeditated. According to Beau, he went with option 2 on his list and told Jennifer about his affair. And apparently Jennifer got extremely angry and a fight ensued. And in a, quote, heat of sudden passion, Beau struck Jennifer in the head, killing her. The defense claimed that Beau and Jennifer had discussed having a baby, and he broke up with his mistress immediately when he found out that Jennifer was pregnant. He said that they even went as far as to discuss baby names. So why would Jennifer have been searching that he was upset if he, according to his defense attorney, was happy that she was with child? According to them, this showed, though, that Beau did not plan on killing his wife, and that it only happened as a result of that heated argument, and that Beau was feeling guilty and wanted to come clean to his wife about the affair, but that things got out of hand. However, evidence has shown that Beau was still in contact with his mistress and still speaking about being together. The evidence from cell phone records even proved that Beau slept with his mistress just days before the murder took place. Not quite the behavior of a man who is breaking off his affair to begin his life as a father with his pregnant wife. During the first day of the trial, the jury heard audio recordings of when Beau decided to finally cooperate with police and lead them to Jennifer's body. In the recordings, Beau refers to Jennifer's body as it and said that there was a bag on the head and that the body would be naked. Now, this is a form of detachment, and this form of detachment toward Jennifer is, again, very reminiscent of when Chris Watts described his crimes, rarely referring to Shanann or his daughters Bella and Cece by name, which I also want to just point out in the deep dive that I did on Chris's mistress, Nicole Kessinger, which it's a few videos back. Maybe I'll link it here as well so that you can see it.
I reacted to that too.
She, in her questioning with police that was on video too, she doesn't refer to Shanann by name either. She refers to her as that woman. And she doesn't refer, I don't even think once, maybe once she refers to the kids by name. I can't remember.
Nope.
But I remember when I was watching that and covering that, I was like, she's detaching as well, which, you know, that's a story for a whole nother day about how I believe she was involved. And if you're curious and if you think so too, check that video out. It is like a deep dive on all things shady about that woman. But anyway, it's disturbing that a husband who claims only killed his wife accidentally in a passionate fight would refer to his wife as it. There seems to be zero remorse and also zero love there. And apparently Beau really likes to make these little lists about his life with Jennifer, because another piece of evidence was introduced to the jury by the prosecution. Beau's boss found a notebook with a pros and cons list to help him decide if he should leave Jennifer or if it was more beneficial for him to stay with her. And like the sick person that Beau is, everything was just about himself. The list shows how his decision will affect his life, what benefits he will gain, and vice versa, commitments and responsibilities and perhaps annoyances that he would have to deal with if he stayed with Jennifer. There's no mention on how his decision would affect Jennifer and no mention of how his decision would ultimately affect their child. And here's the list. On the first list, it says better sex life, nicer, more respect, more appreciation, proven mother, potentially nice family, fresh start. The next list says probably limit one kid, Jennifer and her family, have to move, half my assets and money, possibly get another job, most of my friends, trust is shaken and tainted, my family disappointment, and take on her kid with his problems. Now, on these two lists, it doesn't say for certain which is the pro and which is the con list, but I think it can be assumed that the first list would be the pros of leaving Jennifer, especially because some of the things included were better sex life, fresh start, etc. It sounds like things he was looking forward to if he left her. The only positive on the staying with Jennifer side of the list is the most of my friends bullet. And I think that means that they probably share a lot of the same friends who he probably didn't want to lose if he ended up leaving Jennifer. And perhaps the most heinous piece of evidence was a testimony from the doctor who was an expert witness from the medical examiner's office. Now, although Beau's defense admits that he administered a blow to her head in that heated fight, this doctor described Jennifer's injuries as head traumas that he's only seen in high-speed car accidents. He stated that Jennifer's cause of death was blunt force craniocerebral trauma and that the impact fractured her skull and reached her brain, and it was that deep. The prosecuting attorney asked if a hammer or if simply a fist could make this injury, to which the doctor and the expert said, absolutely not. The prosecution told jurors that Beau smashed Jennifer's skull with such violent, homicidal force that she bled out on their basement carpet. This was not simply a single blow to the head.
He did
in
it
the
repetitively.
heat of the moment, as Beau and his defense attorneys were trying to describe. This was a savage, brutal murder. The jury was forced to see evidence of Jennifer's body when it was discovered in the woods on the side of the road where Beau led them and had dumped her. And these photos were very graphic. I will spare you the details, but what I will say is that the way Jennifer was found was with such lack of human decency, any respect, love or care, like a piece of trash left on the side of the road, naked with a bag over her head. And this just shows the regard that Beau had for his wife, Jennifer. If all he did was hit her in the head in a heated moment, why go to the lengths of stripping her naked? Why put a bag over her head? And why dump her on the side of the road in such a heartless
50
way?
to 45 miles
His tale about feeling
away.
guilty and wanting to come clean about the infidelity, being happy about the pregnancy, feeling sorry for how the argument went and how it got out of control was just such a load
What
of
a
BS.
loser.
Beau did not want that baby. He also didn't want Jennifer. Jennifer knew, and she could feel her husband's disdain towards her pregnancy, which is why she made those Google searches. Beau wanted to start a new life with his mistress and made sure that the or something happened from his list. And then he just discarded her like garbage afterward. If he had an ounce of love for Jennifer, any tender-hearted feelings towards her or his unborn child, he wouldn't have so disrespectfully put her in the woods on the side of the road, naked and alone with a bag on her head. He wouldn't have pretended to look for her with the community, just like his good old buddies Chris Watts and Scott Peterson did. Not to mention the big elephant in the room here. Not only did you murder your wife, you murdered your unborn child. Because in your mind, to you, living a new life with your mistress was more important than your own flesh and blood. And that is absolutely beyond. We are so far in the Beau Rothwell trial. His charges have been upped now to first-degree murder, which would hold a mandatory life sentence and the possibility of the death penalty in Missouri.
I hope so.
And that's also why the defense is pushing so hard to prove that the murder was not premeditated. There is a possibility Beau will take the stand. Now that's going to be very interesting because we rarely see testimony from the defendant in murder trials, especially trials like this. So I'm curious to know, what do you guys think about this case? Do you think that the prosecution has enough evidence to prove first-degree murder?
Oh, yeah.
And that Beau did plan on killing his wife?
Yep.
Do you think that him saying if she miscarried or something else as that option implied that he would do something to Jennifer so that he could be with his mistress?
Yep.
Or do you think that this was a heat-of-the-moment crime of passion? I'm curious to know your thoughts, and I'm curious to know if you also see any other parallels to the Chris Watts or the Scott Peterson case. And I'm curious to know, too, what the mistress has shared. Because I would imagine going into trial, too, that she would be subpoenaed, that she's probably already formally been questioned. So I wonder what additional information she holds. So as of now, that's where we're at. I'm going to continue watching this case closely so that I can bring you updates on the trial, and hopefully we get justice for Jennifer, and hopefully we get the answers as to what really happened, why it really happened, and hopefully Beau is held fully accountable. I'm not one who has really ever been a fan of the death penalty, not because I think it's inhumane or because I think it's too extreme, but because in my personal opinion, I'd rather somebody suffer for the rest of their life in a tiny, tiny jail cell. So I can't say that I hope he gets the death penalty. I just hope that he spends the rest of his life in prison. But I'm curious to know what your thoughts are, guys. Leave them in the comments below. And again, I will keep you updated as this trial continues and as we get more information and as a ruling is made in this case. So check back in, subscribe if you haven't done so already so that you get notified of that update. If you're listening to the podcast version, also, again, I think there's a way you can follow along. I'm going to have to look after this and figure that out. And as always, please don't forget to give this episode and this video a thumbs up on your way out. Leave your feedback in your comments below. I love hearing from you guys and getting the conversation going in the comments. Thanks again for tuning in with me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the case coverage. And until the next case, stay safe. Bye.
So, watching this, it definitely has a lot of similarities with the Chris Watts case. Thankfully, there's no actual other children. I do the unfortunate events of taking your firstborn away is ridiculous in itself. I'm just glad there's not 3 kids, but 1 kid. It's still too many kids in itself. This woman never needed to have this coming. This woman was going places. She was beautiful. I mean, I don't know who this mistress is. I've looked into it. I can't find her. I don't know who it is. But you can't tell me this mistress in 2019 did not look her up. Nowadays, every woman that is the other woman or wants to look up her man and his past and stuff like that is always looking at the social media. So you can't tell me this woman did not know he was married, that he was with this new girl. And it sounds that they were with each other for quite a long time, months, that you can't tell me that this woman, again, did not know that Jennifer was Beau's wife. There's other options than murder. I don't know why that they think that's an option. It's not an option. One, you're ruining her life when she didn't have it coming. You ruin your life, which right now, again, we don't care. But you're ruining the family's lives on both sides, because now they lost a son, they lost the daughter, they lost their grandchild. I just don't see why this is an option. Why there's guys that snap that just do this because they want to have a new hotsy-totsy wife or girlfriend or whatever have you. Then stop marrying so soon. Look at your options before marriage. See if that's what you really, really want. But again, when you marry, it's for better or for worse, richer or for poor. The statistic now that marriage ends in divorce. I tried in my divorce. I tried to fix things. It did not work. I tried all the options I couldn't do. And adultery on not my side or on her side, I'm not standing for that. Okay. So if she found out that he was committing adultery, then they both should have separated and gone their own ways. But murder is never an option. I just don't understand why that he thought he could get away with it, cleaned up the scene, and be like, yeah, I don't know where she is at. She's gone. But he's the one that committed the murder. Comment your guys' thoughts down below. Let me know if you know more about this case than I do. There's also another video of Annalise doing another one of the audacity of Watts 2.0 update. I would love to watch this video, but I want to know your guys' partake on it. Do you want me to watch that one? Hit the like button. Comment your thoughts down below if you want me to do it, and I will definitely do so. Also, send me anything you guys got when it comes to new cases or cases you guys want me to watch. I will surely watch them. I have no problem in watching them. I would love to see other cold case files, other case files, murder mysteries. I love watching the first 48, trying to debug or find out who the killer is before the end of the episode. So I just like to be that person that tries to solve things or get justice, like in for Shanann Watts and their family. Justice for those girls, get justice for Jennifer, and so forth like that. So don't forget to do all the above, and we will see you guys in the next video. So keep it real, keep it safe, and as always, keep nerding on, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.